Welcome back to the channel once again after a very long unexplained break. We're going to just dive right into today's video, and I have a lot of stuff that I want to share with you guys, the subscribers, on why we haven't been posting videos, why I've been neglecting the YouTube channel, and just kind of focusing on other things for the last year probably. So with that being said, we're going to get right into what is going on in the shop today, and then we're going to go over the current vehicles me and Bailey are driving, and some of the other projects we have that are not shop related I'm going to throw in the channel as well. But to start with, guys, doing a oil change this morning on a 2015 Power Stroke. We are now set up with Schaefer's, and we are Schaefer's oil dealers, and this is what we are from now on going to run in all of our customer trucks. I'm going to leave a link below so you guys can check out some YouTube videos on this stuff. But it is a very, very good, high quality oil, and it's not a snake oil product that I feel like a lot of additives and stuff are. This stuff is proven. You can watch demonstration videos on it. I know the last couple videos we posted, we were doing some stuff on this Fummins for Don Trader. That kind of got slowed down in the midst of all of what I'm going to explain here in a little bit. But anyways, guys, just to bring you guys up to speed on where we are at, this is a 78 Ford with a 77 grill. Obviously, you guys that are Ford guys will know that. You'll be able to look at it and tell that's not a 78 grill. And it's sitting on a Dodge 2nd gen chassis. And we have got all of the body mounts done on this thing, so it's mounted to the frame. We put new floor pans in it. We swapped it out with a dually rear end. We got a brand new, sponsored from the guys over at AirDog themselves, AirDog 5G 165. And I was in the process of draining the tank out last week before I went on vacation and getting ready to install this guy. Also got their universal sump kit, so we are going to do a separate video on that. That'll be probably one of the next 2 or 3 videos we post. So on the truck, as far as the interior goes, I've pulled everything out of it, stripped it down to just what we're going to use, which is basically the windshield wiper motor here. You can see it's left. I'm going to have to figure out how to wire that up. But everything else I stripped out. The problem is the age of this truck. The wiring in these is just really old, outdated. There's a lot of connectors in it as I took it apart that were burnt, and I was almost like, wow, I don't know how this didn't catch fire before. So that was a major concern. So we're going to do a full rewire on it, which shouldn't be bad because it is just a 12 valve Cummins. So the hardest part about it is going to be like turn signals, brake lights, stuff like that. Making it charge, making it start, all that stuff super easy, guys. Valve that's going to be paired with the NV4500, and the transmission in this truck was originally out of a GM NV4500, so we had to do a conversion on it and we had to take the transmission completely apart, change the main shaft, and change the adapter housing. So it's a GM. You can see it has like a Chevy shifter on it. It was already in a Cummins power truck, just a GM platform, so they had a different adapter housing on it, but they had already swapped the bell housing over to make it work with the Cummins. This thing does already have a brand new dual disc clutch. These trucks also have a Z-bar from the factory, so it's basically a mechanical clutch lever setup, which we are no longer going to use, obviously, going with an NV4500. And one of the major concerns is the fact that the firewall is not thick enough to withstand a clutch, a clutch slave cylinder being pushed on. It'll fold the firewall. So what we did is we went in and plated both sides of the firewall with 16th gauge steel, through riveted both sides of it, and just temporarily I have mocked up a pedal here. It's got some bracing going on. You guys can see what that looks like. So it has good travel. Like I said, it is through riveted on both sides, and we're also going to have to get a new floor pan. I pulled the HVAC out of it because we plan on doing a vintage air kit. There's no reason to have that giant box underneath the hood if we don't need it. It's outdated, it's old, it has cracks in it, it leaks, and I was able to retain some of the factory ducting, so I think we can just make it to where it'll have defrost and some floor heat, which is all he's going to want in this old regular cab truck. But guys, the deadline for this truck is, I'm going to go ahead and say we need to have this thing pretty much done by the middle of September. I initially quoted the customer at a 6-month build time, and we are at 6 months now, or maybe a little later. We're probably at 7 months. But luckily he understands, and we just had a lot of stuff come up in the background that I was trying to attack and get done, and we got a lot of it done, and like I said, I'm going to show you guys that later. Bailey has a lot going on right now too, and we're going to show some of the process. I think you guys are really going to like it. Pretty crazy what all we're doing right now, just as a couple of mechanics, but that's pretty much where we're at with that. So I'm going to leave that right there for you guys, and we'll come back and do a separate video on it. What else is new, Bailey? We haven't posted in a while.
Not much.
Not having 2 lifts here kind of sucks, huh?
Yeah.
Doing an oil change on the ground because we only have 1 lift here. Right now we had a 15,000 pound lift right here. You guys can see where it was on the floor, but we have moved that to what is going to be our new location. What else is new that I can show the channel? I got a new toolbox. Got a new Matco 4S triple bay toolbox. Maybe I'll do a vehicle update. How about that? What do you think?
No.
Show the sweet rides we have right now? No? I'll go ahead and show you guys anyways. Show you guys what we're driving. Bailey's driving a 98 second gen Dodge. We've done a full build on the trans. It's got a full rebuild. It's got billet input shaft and all the supporting modifications. It's got 200 over injectors, edge comp box. Here's some customer trucks and vehicles that are in right now. 6 liter that needs everything, turbo, fuel pump, injectors, tranny. And my newest rig is, as you guys can see, an LLY Duramax Cat Eye. Love this truck. Just got it 2 days ago. I was driving a 6 liter. I don't think I posted a single video of that on the channel, unfortunately. We did a ton of stuff to it, but this is my new Cat Eye. I love this truck. Super nice interior for the age. It's got 300,000 miles on it. It's recently had the engine pulled out. Friend of mine, an ex-co-worker, CJ over at Air Dog, actually was really good buddies with the previous owner of this truck, and they pulled the engine out, hung it on a stand, and did a full reseal on it. So it's got studs already, so don't have to worry about that. And it's just really nice for me to know not only that I can trust the people that did the work on it, because I don't really care about miles and resale, but I can trust the work that was done on it, and just knowing that stuff like that turbo's been out, these injectors have been out recently. You know, if I need to do stuff to this truck, it's going to be easy to, you guys get the point, get it apart and change some hard parts if I need to. It does have some rust on it. It's got nice tires on it. It's got a big old smashed cab corner, or I'm sorry, rocker panel. Cab corner's gone. Gooseneck in it already. Got the farm bumper on it. Come on. But there you guys can see that thing. Nice unit. Here is another rig that we just went through the front end on for our boys over at Fessler Auto in Pendleton, Indiana. These guys move a ton of super nice trucks, guys. When it comes to taste in a used car dealership, they literally have it figured out. So this is actually going to be for sale soon. Check out FesslerAuto.com. They've got some clean trucks over there, guys. Like I said, Pendleton, Indiana. Check out what they got. All right, guys, got a LLY, I don't know, it's an LBZ truck. Dropped off, they think. It's got an injector issue going on, don't really know. Brought it here yesterday. Got it off the trailer, runs great, all the settings, so we're gonna see what's going on with it. First thing I'll do before we even drive it is we'll check the codes on it. Let's see how many miles are on this girl. Look at 240. So we've got turbo codes. That's not surprising with the miles. Glow plug codes. It's got a bunch of failed glow plugs in it. They've probably never been changed. Fuel rail code. Not passed since power up, so I'm not going to jump to any conclusion yet, guys, but with the miles on this thing, you know, that's not uncommon. The fact that I don't see every glow plug throwing there's a couple that skip, and these trucks start pretty good on a couple glow plugs. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely got some bad glow plugs in there, and the miles though. Let's see how it runs, see what it sounds like. Batteries are weak. We'll go in and clear all these codes real quick. And we'll see which ones pop back up immediately. If any. All the glow plug codes popped up. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the hood, just do a once over real quick. Let's check this, see if it's got any pressure. Not a lot of pressure, but the coolant's pretty black. That's a concern. Yeah, they put a new vane position sensor on it. Probably trying to fix the turbo vanes are probably stuck in it. So they've already tried to fix that. Let's see here. We'll go in and do some functional tests. See if we can close the vanes on this charger and get it to respond. We should hear a tone change if we close these vanes. So the vanes are not responding at all. So guys, what I've came up with so far is it had a fuel pressure regulator code in it, but it had a turbo code in it as well. Pretty common set of codes we see when the turbos on these trucks fail. Given the miles, this motor's probably never been apart. LBZs, you know, they're pretty good engine. They'll go. 240 is not uncommon. It might have had an injector here and there put in it, but maybe a water pump. It's probably never really been tore into that far. All right, so we've got desired and actual. It's pretty close. Alright guys, once again going back through the live data and reading the vane position sensor and the desired vane position, and you guys can see the numbers are in and they look pretty darn good. I mean, that is spot on what we want. Alright, so I was sitting here messing with it again and checking out that turbo and going in and commanding the vanes to close again. And until it was on acceleration, until it had a load on it, you know, revving it up a little bit, they did stick. So the vanes are sticking on this thing. So I'm not even going to look into it anymore as far as trying to clean them or anything. I'll just recommend we put a new turbo on it with the miles that are on this thing. 240. You know, that explains it. This thing's up to temp now. You guys saw me. I just drove around the block. They responded fine. Then when I got to a stop, shut the truck off, started back up, they did stick. All right, guys. So since we last spoke, it was like 9:30. Now it's 1 o'clock. I've literally been on the computer the entire time building a quote for a customer for this F450, and we got it approved. He stopped by, checked it out. He's happy with everything we're going to do. We're going to do a bunch of stuff on it. He's actually from Tennessee, and he is just up here working on a grain elevator that's really close. So we're going to do address a lot of the issues that he's dealing with right now. The body mounts on it are shot. the turbos failed. It doesn't have a disaster kit on it. The tranny cooler lines weren't installed correctly, so they're chafing on the frame. One's about got a hole rubbed in it. And then the oil pan is leaking, which is super common on the later model 6.7 engines because they went away from using an O-ring to silicone, and this one's been swapped and it has a 15 engine in it. So of course we got to fix that. So with that being said, we need to order these, get all these parts ordered, and start getting this thing ready to tear apart. All right guys, it's now 2 o'clock and got all my parts ordered for our F450 and did some more diagnostic on the LBZ. We're gonna catch back up on that first thing tomorrow because it's supposed to rain and we have a little bit of nice weather left today. So it's time that I finally show you guys what has been taking us so long and been, I hate to even say that, you know, not why I'm posting videos, because I should be doing videos of this whole thing. Gosh, can't beat the sound of a Duramax, man. These things sound great. Love them. So, just a quick little 10-minute drive here from the current residence over to the new properties. We are rolling up to Bailey's property. This is a 5-acre parcel located in central Indiana. Beautiful, beautiful property. And he currently has his camper set up here, and like I said, we are under construction of a post frame barn dominium building. So this is going to be his house. This has been a pretty drug out project as far as getting all the permitting done correctly, ordering material, lining up, having all of our, there's people driving by real slow, they see we're building. People are so nosy around here. So guys, like I said, the building we're gonna be doing is a 30 by 40 post frame with a 2-foot on center truss. The trusses just got delivered today. So he's doing 2-foot on center. It's a 412 pitch, I believe. And he has the auger right now. We had all of our batter boards set up here and got all of our holes centered yesterday. So he's running the tractor right now and we're getting these holes dug so that way we can set the post for the building. How's that working? Come back a little, there you go. Right there. Alright guys, so I just got done talking to Bailey and he kind of discussed, he just got off the phone with the inspector, and before we can backfill the holes for the post, he wants to inspect the holes, and we got these 12-inch cookie discs to go into the holes, but we had to trim all of them down. He highly suggested that we just put concrete in the bottom of the holes for the footing because it would self-level. So we're gonna go ahead and just do that. I'm gonna run to town right now and grab 16 bags of Quickcrete, so that way we can dump a bag in each hole, self-level that. It's got to be at least 6 inches deep for the footing. So I'm gonna go grab some Quickcrete, we'll dump all those in the holes and let those sit and get nice and hard, and that's what we're gonna do. So going against the cookie idea, those are also really hard to get into the ground without trimming them, and they're supposed to be at least 12 inches apart. The problem is they won't set, they'll settle crooked. So it's just, I don't know, it's just what the inspector's recommending. He's been extremely helpful throughout this whole process. So that is what we are going to do. All right guys, and just right around the corner is, there off in the distance, center frame. That is going to be the new home of Dirty Diamond Diesel, the business, and you know, whatever else we get into later on in life. But I'm gonna briefly go over the history in this, and then I'm gonna do a separate video and do a full walkthrough and get some really good shots of the property. But I didn't want to put this video out today and at least not break the news to you. And then if you're interested, you can come back and watch the full video breakdown. But long story short, my family lost this property in the 80s due to hard times. You know, the economy wasn't great, and they were farmers. They were really big farmers back in the day. They owned all this ground. All this ground around here was theirs, and this was the family farm here. So there's all kinds of cool grain bins and stuff on the property. There's a tree here actually that is around 400 years old. You guys, I don't know if you can tell how big it is, but they, the individuals that lived here for the last 30 to 40 years had a arborist come out, and he said it's about, you can peek in there and see it, he said it's about 400 years old. I mean, it's a massive tree. But I'm gonna be real quick about this, like I said, to just go through and show you guys this property real quick, so that way, you know, we can do a full detailed video on it later. But this is all part of the property. There's 5 acres here. And this is the barn. Like I said, we're just gonna quickly go by it and we'll do a detailed video. And the next one, it's a 48 by 80 that we have done an absolute massive amount of work to. This barn was built in the 80s, and we brought it back to life because it was literally falling down. Been doing tons of grade work all the way around it. That's where the shop's going to be. There's a huge concrete pad out here that they had hogs back here on all this concrete. Just like I said, real quick, just a little sneak peek. Next video, you'll have to come back. We'll do a full tour on the place. There's a garden we put in over there. But yeah, so the next video is going to be, you know, showing you the property. But in this video, I just want to explain to you guys like why exactly I haven't been posting is because I've been focusing on trying to do this and run the business, and it's just me and, you know, a couple buddies at a time and my brother running the business, and it's hard to do that. You know, his property has been a massive project as well, and I'll do separate videos on that barn, and then I'll punt in some videos when we first got that property and started cleaning it up. And like I said, guys, from the time that I added on to my barn until like a month after that, that's when all this started, with basically gaining access to these properties and taking ownership of them. All right, guys, concrete is acquired, and let me tell you, this girl is squatting. Jeez Louise, that's a lot of weight. 16 bags, 60 pounds. It's a lot of weight in the bed. Hopefully we can turn. Pulling back up here to Bailey's property. Looks like he's still working on some of the holes. Guys, this ground here is so rocky that it is not easy to dig these holes. We've actually already tried to dig them once with it's like a hand-powered auger. Not hand-powered, but it's like a little trailer you pull behind the truck and you got to run it by hand, and we just couldn't do it. I mean, just way too rough. So looks like I think he just broke a shear pin again on the auger. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm pretty sure he just broke a shear pin. Yep. Just break a shear pin? You just break a shear pin? Yeah. You broke another one? Now that he's got all the holes dug, we are set the string line back up to double check, obviously, our squareness again, and then we want to make sure our holes are perfectly placed where they will sit on the outsides and corners of the string, depending on which hole it is. And everything is looking really good. There's just a couple that we're gonna have to do some adjusting on, but for the most part, the holes are right where they need to be. Just kind of difficult to do with a tractor because it wants to walk and it hits rocks and it gets off-centered from where you originally drill your hole at. But you guys kind of get the point there. Got the concrete back here and got to get the we got the concrete back here, and we need to get these last couple holes done, and then we're going to pour footings in each concrete hole. Guys, we couldn't have done that at a more perfect time. Literally, as soon as I pulled in here, it started pouring. So we got all those posts over there poured with a concrete footer at the bottom of them instead of doing the pucks. We're already in here. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a little preview, real quick preview. So, anyways, this is a 48 by 80 shop. 48 wide, 80 high. The problem is we've only got about a 12.5 foot tall ceiling. and it needs a roof. And I'm debating on changing the trusses. A lot of people will probably say I should have just, I mean, now that you see it now, it's got all concrete and everything. But basically, guys, what I've had to do is go in and change all of the posts were broken at the ground, so we had to redo all those. Some of them we did a little differently, some of them we scabbed onto, and some of them we went right underneath and then went around it. But either way, it was an absolutely massive amount of work. Poured this gigantic concrete pad in here, super thick, 5 to 6 inches thick in some spots. Worked on starting to build a little office. We thought we were going to be out here a lot faster than we are, so that's why I started getting stuff like that done. We have water dummied in. But yeah, I'll save you guys. That's just a little tour. That's just a little sneak peek for the next video. I'll give you guys a full walk around. Oh my gosh, guys, we just barely got that done. It is downpouring. Barely got it done. Couldn't have worked out better though.